Welcome to the Fresh Connection. I am from the onboarding team and would like to give you a first heads up about our company. The Fresh Connection is a manufacturing company of fruit juices based in the Netherlands. We make an assortment of 6 very tasty juice products. We have 3 flavors: pure orange, orange mixed with mango and orange with extra vitamin C. And 2 packaging types, 1-liter cartons and 0.3-liter PET bottles. We deliver our products to local retailers, more about them later on. Our internal process starts at the inbound warehouse. It consists of a pallet warehouse and a tank yard. Here we are receiving orange pulp, mango pulp, vitamin C and packaging material from our suppliers. These suppliers are based all over the world. The raw materials are internally moved to the mixing area. Here we make our famous juice flavors. From the mixing area we directly deliver to the bottling line. Here we fill the 2 packaging types: the 1-liter cartons and the 0.3-liter PET bottles. The finished goods are then stored in the outbound warehouse and shipped to our retail customers when ordered. In this basic value chain map you see the company at a glance. The physical flow starts at the left with suppliers delivering components. These components are stored in the inbound warehouse. From there we deliver to the mixing and bottling area. The finished products are stored in our outbound warehouse and then delivered to our customers. Bob McLaren is our CEO from the Complete Group. You maybe already saw his video. He is pushing us because we have a very serious problem with our profitability. Let me explain a little bit more. Our main KPI is the return on investment. This is the revenue minus the costs divided by all investments needed. So the challenge is to minimize our costs and maximize our revenues. And we have to work on our working capital, a large part of our investments. At this moment we make a loss. Our total costs are higher than our revenues. But how to solve this? I think we need a clear strategy to create much more direction and alignment in the management team. This management team consists of 4 or 5 roles. A sales role, responsible for customer relations. Purchasing for managing the supplier relations. Operations to manage capacities in warehousing and production, and the supply chain manager to manage inventories and production planning. A CEO can be added as an optional role when the team consists of 5 people. I sincerely hope you and your team can turn the company around.
Hi, my name is Annette. I am from the IT department. Over the years, we have developed an in-the-cloud portal where you can make decisions, find performance dashboards and even detailed reports about the previous years. First, I will give you a quick tour in the system. After that, I will focus a little more on the actual problems we are facing at the moment. This is the My Company screen in the Fresh Connection. It is your cockpit where you can see the most important KPIs. On top you see the 4 roles in the management team. In the column at the left-hand side you will find the more generic information like inbox, ranking, information, info center and finance. In the inbox you will get valuable role-specific information about decisions and events. With the timeline in the vertical orange bar you can move from decisions in the actual round to information about the previous rounds. Every round, by the way, is a half a year in the company. By clicking on a role in a previous round you will get more specific KPIs for that department. On the right-hand side you will find the alerts, where you will find feedback on the performance of the KPIs, with tips how to manage them. Starting at sales you see a negative ROI and a low performance on service level. This means probably unhappy customers. Another issue is the high obsolete level. That causes a high level of waste in our value chain. Because of the limited shelf life of the products and the level of our inventories, we need to scrap products that are becoming too old. At operations you see a low production plan adherence, meaning we are not able to produce according to plan. And a very full inbound warehouse, causing inefficiencies. At purchasing, we have some issues with the quality and reliability of our suppliers, which can be seen in the delivery reliability KPI and the level of the rejection rate. Let's dive in some more details by going back to sales and opening the product report. Here you see our assortment of 6 products, and some valuable performances in the last round. In the customer report you see our market consists of 3 local customers. In this report you see our service level per customer differs. In general they are too low. The largest customer is food and groceries with around 50% of our volume. They are very important to us. The next retailer is Landmarket. They are smaller. We also deliver a chain of gas stations, called Dominic's. In the customer product report you see even more details. Here you see they only want to sell our PET bottles. When we go back to the actual round you see the contract we have in place with our customers. Every half year we can change the contracts by clicking on this Yes button. Here we decide for instance what service level we are going to promise. At the moment we promise 95%. But we saw already we don't realize it at the moment, causing penalties. If you don't remember what is the definition of service level you can always click in the little I next to it, to get an explanation. You can find them everywhere. We can change the promise. Let's assume we adjust the promise to 92% only. The effect of this is that our contract index will decrease. This contract index needs a little more explanation. You cannot negotiate directly on sales or purchasing prices. But you can talk about supply chain performance. On the sales side this means, the more you promise in terms of reliability, flexibility or quality the higher the contract index will be. We multiply the contract index with a basic price for every product to get a sales price. So in this case the lower service level promise will lead to a substantial lower price level with this customer. The same concept we have on the purchasing side with our suppliers. A special element in our juice business is that we have a shelf life on the product. Normally this is 20 weeks. This means we are printing a best before date on the product at the bottling line. Exactly 20 weeks from now. So at the day of production the clock starts ticking. To manage the shelf life, we need a shelf life agreement with our retailer. The shelf life agreement is in this example set to 75%. This means 75% of the shelf life must be still there when we deliver the product to the customer. So that means the internal shelf life becomes 25%. In other words, if the customer is promised a remainder of shelf life of 15 weeks at the moment of delivery, this means inventory of finished products in our warehouse may not rise higher than 5 weeks. Finished products are not distributed to a customer if the shelf life agreement is violated. If there is no customer left for the product, because it is too old for everyone, we call it obsolete and scrap the product against scrap costs. At the moment we promise 75% shelf life to all customers. But this agreement creates an high obsolete level. By clicking on the Purchasing tab we can move to the Purchasing department. The setup with dashboard and reports are similar as in sales. And in the actual round you will find contracts with the suppliers. Again these can be changed every round, influencing the contract index and price level of every supplier. Every supplier has a set of basic characteristics. These characteristics can be found in the light bulb next to the supplier. These light bulbs you can also find at bottling lines, mixers, customers, products and components to learn more details about these entities. Probably you need some basic information about what components are needed to make a finished product. This can be found in the Information tab on the left-hand side. Here you can find the bill of material and other basic information about how many product on a pallet, basic prices, number of pallets in a full truckload and so on. The primary process of warehousing and production is managed by the operations manager, managing capacities and other improvements. Here you manage the size of the warehouse and the number of people working there. Going up in the timeline to the previous round you will find reports on the warehouses. Here you see the performance of the last half a year. The inbound warehouse is pretty full. That means that we have to rent an overflow warehouse during some periods, causing extra costs. The overflow warehouse is paid per pallet per day and is quite expensive. And it causes double handling as well. Going back to the actual round again in operations, you can go to the bottling line to decide about the number of shifts and some improvement projects. By clicking on the light bulb next to the bottling line, you will find all necessary details about that line, like costs, investments, number of operators on the line, and changeover characteristics. The last department that needs to be managed is the supply chain department. This is all about planning and inventory management. Here you decide about safety stock per finished product. And you need to decide about how much you produce per batch with the production interval. It says 10 days at the moment, meaning you are producing every 10 working days, or 2 weeks, a batch that needs to cover that period. This planning decision impacts the level of inventory and the number of changeovers in production. Similar type of decisions needs to be taken on the component inventory. In the previous round, we see reports again, showing details of the performance in the last round, with inventory graphs and important data on inventories and service levels for both components and finished products. All decisions in all departments are impacting our financials. We can analyze them by going to the Finance tab on the left-hand side. Below you will find details about revenues, costs, and investments of last round and the round before. By clicking on a plus you can find more details. Analyzing the difference column helps in understanding the financial impact of the decisions you made in the last round. Here you see we suffered from large penalties from our customers. The reason behind these penalties is the gap between our service level promised versus our service level realized. This needs be solved definitely. Now I hope you are ready to try it yourself. I wish you a great experience and success with the Fresh Connection.